Hello everybody, this is the update webinar for Drive Image version 8. This video is meant to give you a relatively short version of the live webinars regarding the launch of version 8 for everyone who for any reason couldn't participate or follow the live webinars. To make this a good experience, I'm not going to read the presentation to you, so you can download the presentation within our download portal at www.drivve.eu, downloads, and then marketing and sales, and there's a special webinar section where you can download the webinar. So yeah, but I'm about to give you the most important facts regarding sales for Drive Image version 8. So let's start. This is a little agenda and we dive right into it. So the facts are: launch date is January the 16th, and from there on Drive Image licenses will be version 8. The licenses are downward compatible to version 7. Drive Image licenses, and by the way Drive DM licenses as well, are always compatible to the last two versions. So at the moment, since we are still at version 7, we support the version 6 and 7. And from the launch date on, we will provide versions 7 and 8. So if any of your customers has an older version, we would recommend an update to at least version 7. The setups of the last two versions are also available at our homepage. And that licenses are downward compatible to version 7 means pretty much that if you order a license and you have an installation still at version 7, that's not a problem at all. You can use the new tickets with version 7 and version 8, of course, except hot folder. I will go into that later. The hot folder licenses won't be available anymore. Starting from version 8, there will be predecessor licenses called universal device licenses and server processing licenses. I will talk a lot about that a little later within this presentation. If you have an installation with hot folder in version 7, and you need to order more hot folder licenses, but for some reason you don't want to update that installation, please let us know. At the moment you can't just regular order new licenses for such an installation. Please talk to our inbound sales. Of course, we're going to find a solution. All licenses have an activation period of 12 months after purchasing and will automatically be deactivated after this time. That is something that is already valid since version 7, but since it still hit some people by surprise, we involve it in our update presentations this time. So when you order Drive Image licenses, they always come with 12 months of maintenance, but if you need more than 12 months before you actually activated the license, you won't be able to activate the license anymore. You have to contact our inbound sales. We will ask you for a little administration fee, and then you will get new tickets for these licenses without maintenance, because the 12 months of maintenance are over. Okay, please always think about that before you order your licenses. Good news is there are no price changes for existing items. That means if you have any quotes or offers that are already at the customer, no worries at all, because nothing changes here. We just have really exciting new items and a few nice new features. Regarding the not for resale licenses, as always, please be aware that NFR licenses do not allow for any update. So version 7 licenses are now about to run out because they're valid for 1 year, and to have a not for resale license for version 8, you will have to order new not for resale licenses from our inbound sales. Okay, thank you. So let's go to the exciting news. There's a Drive Image desktop client that has been asked by several distributors and resellers. That's why we added it to Drive Image. It's a totally new edition. So on the price list, there are no new items. Don't look for them, you won't find them. It's just a new edition. So as you order some manufacturer edition, you can also order the desktop client. The desktop of a PC is treated as a device. So per personal computer, per desktop that is linked to Drive Image, you will need one license. Okay. For the Drive Image Desktop Client Edition, all Drive Image modules are available, and what it pretty much does is, and why we developed it, is that sometimes you have a scanning infrastructure at a company and they scan from multifunctional devices, but for some people it just makes sense, or they just want to still scan at their desk. So, and maybe they just using some simple flatbed scanner, and they just use the scanner application that came with the scanner. And more, if resellers sell a scanning application to those kind of companies, the company wants a wholly integrated scanning solution. So that means a scanning solution that covers the scans from the MFPs, but also covers those desktop scanners, okay? And so far we didn't do that. That's why we added the Drive Image Desktop Client Edition now. So that means you have one Drive Image installation on the server, as always. You can add to that one installation MFPs. You can also add some supervised folders, whatever you want. And then you can also add desktop clients. That means that you do your profiles on the server, you configure your profiles on the server, and as you would go to an MFP and see what's there on the display and tap the buttons, the Drive Image buttons displayed on the display of the MFP, you now see pretty much the same buttons. It's a little bit different since it's a desktop on a personal computer, but you pretty much tap the same buttons on your computer desktop, and you scan with your scanner, or you can also use documents that are actually on your hard disk or on any disk that is connected with your personal computer. There's interactive scanning just for train scanners, so that would be good. And it's a product edition, as I said, and the licensing is per device, per workstation. So there are a few screenshots for you. You see here, if you have a train scanner, there's interactive scanning, so something opens that looks like a normal train scanner app. And this is, you know, what people are used to when they use a train table scanner. And then the next step, you have pretty much the interface of Drive Image that you would see usually at a multifunctional device display. Here you have on the very left the files, where do they come from? So add via train, that's the train scanner, or add from disk. So if you have them off your personal computer, you can also choose an add from disk. You can choose more than one document at once, but you can't like 1,000 documents at once, okay? But you can add like 10, 20 documents at once. Then on the column beside files, you see the profiles. Those are the profiles that you usually would see on the display of your multifunctional device. Here we have an example, scan to FTP or scan to Drive DM. Then you tap to one of those. You have the same possibilities with any Drive Image edition, okay? It depends on the modules that you have purchased, of course. So, for example, if you would tap on scan to FTP, then this would open, and then you see the same possible input fields that you would have on the display of a multifunctional device. Here we have all variables, but this could be like name, this could be like date, this could be a pre-filled text like date, and a checkbox could be like barcode recognition, yes, no, OCR, yes, no, stuff like that. You can have a drop-down selection. You can also have an SQL search through your database. Same options as with the embedded Drive image editions, okay? And then you tap cancel if something is wrong, or you tap upload instead of scan, since you are not at the scanner, you are not at the multifunctional device, you're at your desktop, so upload makes more sense. This is so much about the desktop client. There will be a dedicated webinar because it offers quite a lot of possibilities that are very different to the possibilities we had before, when Drive image was restricted to machines only. As I said, a lot of distributors and resellers ask for this functionality, so well, I hope you have fun with it. I think it's pretty cool, and we will see what sales numbers will tell us, right? So next thing, hot folder licenses are not there anymore in version 8. Now they are the universal device licenses, okay? So they are the successors of the hot folder licenses. Again, in version 8 there will be no hot folder licenses. You can't purchase hot folder licenses anymore. So if you need a hot folder license for a version 7 installation, if your installation is even older, please do an update to version 7. Then please contact us. Of course, we will recommend always to do the update to version 8. Existing hot folder licenses, when you do an update, will automatically be converted. You can't do that without noticing, because when you update an installation including hot folder licenses, there will be a message, a warning that tells you, hey, right this small moment, all your hot folder licenses will be converted to universal device licenses, okay? So you will notice, but usually if you did what the hot folder licenses were supposed to do, so you connected one device where we don't have an embedded edition for with this hot folder license, then you can do an update and it will be fine. And I guess that is what you did, right? Why did we change the hot folder licenses at all? And why do I say that? Well, because over time a new scenario came up to us. So it is that sometimes you have a third-party application and people wanted to use hot folder licenses to process files that came from those third-party applications. And sometimes they wanted to convert email attachments, stuff like that. But with the original license agreement, that was actually forbidden. So that was a problem, since this is more and more the scenario, and of course we want to sell our licenses and we want to have a solution for, well, most of our scenarios possible. So we had to change this and do this by allowing for the scenario and at the same time staying within our agreements that we have, for example, with the manufacturer of the OCR we use. So that is why we said, okay, we're gonna say goodbye to the hot folder licenses. Instead, there will be two new types of licenses: universal device licenses and what I will present you after this, the server processing licenses. The universal device licenses are really there for what were the hot folder licenses there for before. So again, you connect one device where we don't have an embedded edition for, with one license. And then you can use all modules and do whatever you did with the hot folder licensing, okay? If you do such an update, or if you install a universal device licenses, you will have to register the input channel. That means you will have to say, okay, the documents will be taken from FTP or SMB, or if I want to have email monitoring, IMAP. The good news is there's no limited number of supported folders anymore. What's good? So you even get an advantage by your update, and the page limit of 10,000 pages per month stays the same. You will always also have to register the device from which you are scanning, okay, by the ID. So that will grant that there's only one device connected to the universal device license. Of course, there's now no downgrade possible since the universal device licenses did not exist in any older versions. If for some reason you have a hot folder installation where you did not connect one device to one hot folder license, or where you have connected devices that are not able to scan to FTP or SMB, something like that, then please contact our inbound sales, okay? I'm sure we will find a solution for that. But if you did that, then just do your update and be happy that you can have as many hot folders, supported folders, supported watched folders as you want now. Okay. There's a new feature coming with this as well. This is the email monitoring. We had a few resellers that even developed their own email monitoring because they were just so bad asking for such a functionality. And that is why we developed this. So what is possible that you can not only with universal device licenses process documents that come from a device, you can also monitor mailboxes via IMAP. Per one universal device license, you can monitor one mailbox, okay, as one device. Then you can process the emails according to normal Drive image profile configuration that you do at the server. As always, it's the same for all Drive image installations. We support all formats of email attachments corresponding to what formats Drive image support for processing, also multiple attachments, and we can also use information that comes from the email directly, like name, date, or email body, so email text. There's also a return to sender capabilities, so that means after processing we can send the processed file to the sender. A lot of people asked for this as well. So a scenario for this, what were described to us a lot of times, for example, if people would send invoices to an email inbox and then want that those invoices are processed and sent to a mostly third-party application or document management application. And that is something that you can totally do with Drive image from now on. The email monitoring is not an extra item. It comes with a universal device license. You just then need to choose the input channel IMAP. Okay, so you can either go for device, like a multifunctional device or any other type of scanner that supports FTP or SMB scan, or you go for one mailbox via IMAP. Okay, so those are the features of the universal device licenses. Then there's also the server processing license. This is what I described if you want, for example, to process documents that come from a different third-party application. Okay, it's pretty much a server-based version of the universal device licenses, and it has all functions that Drive image generally offers with the modules, except the Drive image email monitoring, since that doesn't make any sense, since email monitoring always refers to an inbox, and that is why you can use universal device licenses for this and register the inbox. The difference to the universal device licenses is that here's a page limit of 10,000 pages per month, and this is exactly as I said, it's 10,000 pages per month. Okay, the difference is because this is a very automated process here, and again, we had to honor the agreements we have, for example, with the manufacturer of our OCR. So it is important here that we have a lower page limit. If you need more pages, you are welcome to buy 2 licenses, and with 2 licenses you would have 20,000 pages per month, with 3 licenses 30,000 pages per month, and so on. Okay, it allows for 5 monitored folders, And the Drivve image server processing licenses are only available as SPT, scanner power tools, or as a pack. Generally, regarding pricing, as I said, all items that you already know stays the same. If you go to the new price list, which will be available at our webpage from the date of the launch on, you can have a look, and then you see that there are 2 pages. I'm sorry for that actually, but we had to do this. So the price list has 2 pages now, and the universal device licenses as well as the server processing licenses can be found at the 2nd page of the price list. Okay, so make sure that you look at the 2nd page of the price list, and there you see the pricing. You will see that the universal device licenses are absolutely more, well, cheaper actually, less expensive than the hot folder licenses. So they are more affordable to everybody, what we identified as a need of the market. So yeah, you have what you might see as a better pricing now for the universal device licenses, another advantage of this change. And the server processing licenses again just come as SPT or Prof, and well, you will see the pricing at the price list. Yeah, so much about these 2 things. Then the next thing is that we not only have new items like the universal device licenses and the server processing licenses and the desktop client edition. We don't want to forget about that one. We also have a few items that won't be available anymore. The hot folder licenses, I think I explained that already. And also there's the universal exchange connector module, which offered customized interfaces to fax server software. Those were built in a time where most fax server software application did not offer email to fax. Right now, pretty much every fax server software offers email to fax. So right now it is really possible with the means of the normal Drivve image modules to connect a fax server software to Drivve image, and these customized interfaces are not needed anymore. With the UEC module you can also connect the address books and all that stuff, and you can fax via SMTP. So we pretty much just quit those interfaces because they're not needed anymore. You're still able to do, well, 99.9% of everything you could do before. If you have any problems, please let our support know. They will be happy to help you. But yeah, so that is why we don't develop and maintain those interfaces to the fax server software anymore. Regarding the hot folder licenses, one last thing. Again, if you have an installation where for some reason you don't want to do a regular update to version 8, please let us know what might be the issue and we will find a solution together. Okay. Well, this is already it. So yeah, if you have any more questions, please let us know. These are my contact details, and you can, well, ask me directly, or you go to sales@drivve.de or ask the support, whoever you want to ask. Please make sure that you also participate the technical webinars. And I actually have the impression that I skipped a file. Yeah, here, I skipped the slide enhancement for existing products. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to tell you about this. So because of course we also have enhancement of existing product items. All image processing and recognition features will be available for documents in PDF format. That pretty much means if you want to do barcode recognition or some image processing, so far you needed an image file like TIFF or JPEG, and you don't need that anymore. Now all of this works for PDF as well, because PDF just got so spread in the market, so we needed to do this. Then for the OCR module, we have a higher compression now. With version 7 we offered a higher compression for scanner power tools, and now we offer the higher compression for OCR module. Of course we chose a compression where you won't lose any data, okay? This is just to have smaller searchable PDF files. Also for the OCR module, what is a biggie is that we offer now page separation via OCR recognition. Please be aware, yes, you can say now that there's a field in the upper right corner of the document, and whatever is written there, and if there's changes or if you find this or that, you can separate the files. But the more complicated it is, what the OCR is going to find there, the more error prone this whole process gets, okay? So barcode separation is still the recommended path to document separation, and if you use OCR separation, you need to use regular expressions to make sure that the outcome is really what you want, okay? Of course, if there's just written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that, you know, that might be give the perfect the perfect page separation, whatever you wanted, so that's fine. But yeah, if it's more complicated, then at least please use regular expressions, yeah, and keep it simple, please, okay? So still, the feature is there. A lot of people asked for it, so here it is. With Scanner Power Tools, we also offer now an accelerated image processing, so some processes just are faster now. I think if you test it, you will see that it really depends on what you're doing, but some things are really faster now. And then for the Cloud Connector module, there's even a better Box.com connector. This connector is used a lot in the US, sometimes in Europe. Nobody really uses it in Germany. So, but if you need one, yeah, our one is really a really good Box.com connector. So yeah, that was it. Sorry again that I nearly forgot about this slide. And again, if you have any more questions, please let me know. I'm aware that this webinar is not as comprehensive as the live webinars, but yeah, I wish a lot of fun with the new version, and we are happy for any feedback, and I would say talk to you soon. Bye bye.